Welcome to North Dakota After Dark. Please do not mind the sunshine you see behind you. That is 100% the Mandela effect. We are very pleased today to welcome Ryan LaDouceur to the program. Ryan is a former director of the Hockey Academy, former player for the Fargo Force, now runs the Termite program here in Grand Forks, North Dakota, and really good dude as well. So welcome, Ryan. Pleased to have you on the show today.
Perfect.
Type of
Yeah.
thing.
So
So Kelly
I'm
will get after you for going to the wrong school for a little bit, and then
okay.
that's
It
sort of the
happens.
deal.
It's as long as we're all aware.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's okay. Yeah. So born and raised in Grand Forks. Came through the Grand Forks youth hockey system. Ended up playing for Red River. Was a 2008 Red River high school grad, hockey grad. From there, moved on. Played 1 year for the Fargo Force. The first year they had a team. And actually, kind of my senior year, I actually finished playing a few games with the Fargo Moorhead Jets when they were part of the North American League there. And
Matt
then,
was our FM jet as well.
yep, legendary. So did that for I think it was like 12, roughly 12 games, just kind of postseason my senior year. The following year played for the Fargo Force. And then that was the end of the playing career for me. Kind of got into coaching pretty quick as just a kind of like a part-time gig just while I was a student at UND. Got kind of in contact with so it was Brad Berry at the time. Him and Eric Fabian had just started the hockey academy. Was a part-time employee there for a few years. Like I said, just while I was a student at UND. And just the longer I stuck around, the deeper I kind of got more involved with Hockey Academy. Was the assistant director for about a year and a half as other guys moved on, and then was the director there for about a year and a half. And when I was a part-time employee there, that's when Carl Gehring, Eli Rosendahl, they were the director and the assistant director, and Kyle was a full-time guy there as well. And they had kind of started the what was called the THA Selects, which was kind of a fall midget AAA team. Played a full kind of fall schedule, kind of supplemented, similar to what like the Team ND stuff is now. And so did that for a bit. Also, kind of while I was in school at UND, was fortunate enough. So I was a student coach or student manager, I think was the official title. So did that for 1 year with the UND women's hockey program, and then did it for 3 years with the UND men's team. Upon graduation, that's kind of when I started doing full-time Hockey Academy stuff, and kind of wanted to pursue full-time coaching for a little bit. So ended up moving down to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Coached their midget AAA team with their 15s. So did that for 1 year. Ended up moving back to Grand Forks. Was going to be the head coach at Red River. And about 3 or 4 weeks before the season started, a position opened up with the UND hockey team, and ended up taking that. But the drawback was I wasn't able to coach Red River, so kind of put them in a tough spot. Like I said, jumping ship, so to speak, about 3 or 4 weeks before tryout started. But they ended up filling that role with Mike Lemoyne, and they won a state championship that year. So that was neat to see, and did stuff with the UND hockey program for 6 seasons. And then found my way all the way back just this past season. I was Termite 1 coordinator, and it was probably one of the most fun years of hockey I've been part of. So that's kind of where I'm at now.
I like it. The big gap in your resume, Deuce, that I noted was City League four-man volleyball champion. Could you touch on that a little bit?
Yes. Yep. Did that for
Got that.
what were we one time Sand League volleyball champs? You probably got a few under your belt, but
No, that's the one and only.
that's the one. Okay. Yeah, so we
Kelly
did
and I
that.
are so.
Trying. Okay. I'm on his current team, Ryan. We're trying.
Oh,
Okay.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah,
This year's our year.
yeah. I had Corey fill
those
in
games
once,
have
and I
gotten
think that
good.
might be the secret sauce is having Corey come more often.
There's some good teams now. Ellie and I, my wife, will fill in occasionally, and I feel like it's on a whole different level than even when we played coach.
Yeah, we I liked our team because we had me and Deuce and Ryan's wife Ellie and whichever girl we could find that week. It was
Yeah.
it was honestly
Just
We
working.
did
any
like
one.
Corey Williams, Jerica Rosendahl, Emily
Yeah.
Benson. Like it was quite the mix of anyone we could find.
Yeah, it
I
was like
like
a
it.
sitcom with like a guest star, like the Love Boat. Like who's
Yeah.
this week, you
Like
know?
SNL, you know,
Yeah.
who's the guest this week, you
I think
know?
we had Kristen Campbell play. I think so we were the only sand volleyball team with an Olympian.
Yeah, that was tons of fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
We got to get back in doing that.
I'm impressed you guys were able to find a female every week because we needed one last week and we were like it was swing and a miss. Everybody I asked, I'm like, hey, do you ever play volleyball? No. Plus I'm
The
working.
advantage obviously was, Ellie played basketball for UND. Deuce was with, the women's team was, so we had like there was a deep bench to call upon at the time. I don't think we ever got either of your sisters to play though, did we? I think we asked every week and
Hey.
rejected 12 weeks in a row. So I'm pretty
Uh,
sure we tried Kelly Ann Brooke at
Oh, you're
various
saying my sisters? I thought
your
you were talking
sisters,
about
yeah.
Kelly. Yeah, I don't know if they didn't really grow up playing volleyball, so that was probably an easy no for them.
Yeah. Well, we did try. Well, good.
Yeah.
So good rundown of the resume. One of the in kind of discussing which way we wanted to go this week for a guest, one of the things we'll touch on, we'll jump around, but
Yeah.
you coach the 15 team for Sioux Falls. There's been sort of an exodus from North Dakota. Several kids have left to play for that team. And one of the things we want to talk about is just from your perspective, having played high school hockey and then coached at that level, just kind of touch upon things you liked and maybe didn't like about the program and what it might offer for some kids or maybe just your perspective. Certainly not a good. Noel runs a great program down there.
Yep.
Just want to get your 2 cents on it as a guy that coached there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think when you kind of look at everything, like there's no right path, there's no wrong path. Like every player is a little bit different. I played high school as I kind of spoke about and coached in Sioux Falls for the year there. So, Sioux Falls, it's a really good setup. One thing I really liked was just like the length of the season. Kids showed up kind of right at the end of August there. Finished up, I think it's kind of towards the end of March. So to have those kids for kind of that length of time, you really felt like you could like really dig in from the start of the year, just get tons of work done. Like you're working on systems. It takes a few months for things to really click. You're moving lines around. For a lot of those kids, like they're not from that area, so it's a whole new living situation, school situation. Hockey's new, so it does take a while for kids to kind of settle in a little bit. But overall, it was a really good experience. Like I said, from the start of the season till the end of the season, I felt like you could just get tons of really good work, and you feel like from day one till we were fortunate to go to the national tournament, like you felt like you could really touch on each individual player just a whole lot. So really liked that. Obviously, it's a little bit different with high school. Again, just kind of based on length of the season. But I know with Team ND now, they try supplement a little bit with games in the fall, games in the spring. But as I've kind of thought on it a little bit, like it's really hard to kind of replicate and just understand like how special it is to play for your hometown, play for your high school, play with your friends, like play with the kids you grew up and played with. It's so much fun, and you still get together with your classmates and you still talk about the glory days of high school. And there's so many good memories when you grow up with kids and you're playing on the same team, and then you try play for a state championship. That's kind of what hockey should be. And like I said, with when you start talking midget programs, like I feel like at times it can be a little bit of a revolving door. kids will come to your program and then exit your program. And it's almost like a little bit of a transfer portal, so to speak, with they're in a pretty good spot for 1 year, and then a different team has a better opportunity for them the next year. But like I said, overall, I thought, at least in my experience in Sioux Falls, it was fantastic, and again, nothing but good things to say about high school hockey as well.
Um, just one quick follow-up, just in that, all our kids are in that 15-0 range now. Who are the rivals for Sioux Falls at the time? One of the things I talk about it when this comes around is like just you mentioned a little bit like the movement of players there. So when years ago, like TPH used to have a really strong team and they kind of faded. Caesars was always good, but like Mission's up or down. There's teams come and go. Like who just for historical reference, who were the rivals?
Yeah, at the time, I don't know if like there was like a true rivalry. Like I think at the time, like they were trying to find a league to kind of solidify with, but played Shattuck a few times. Like they were typical Shattuck, like kind of on a different level than we were. So like when you talk like rivalry, it's hard to like have a true rivalry if like the competition is so lopsided. Like we were outmatched in every game we played, but I felt like those games, like again, just with the history of Shattuck, like
Sure.
kids would love for that, and played Rink Academy. Like those were always fun
Yeah.
games to play, but a lot of it was just kind of jumping from kind of showcase to showcase. We went and played kind of a tournament down in Anaheim, which was a lot of fun. Took a road trip down to Dallas too, so kind of got to see really all teams across North America.
Oh, neat.
So Ryan, what we've been trying to do for the past couple seasons is push people further and further away from reasonable answers like you're giving. So I'll take my stab at it. So you say, we over the last couple episodes, we've talked a lot about this, about kids wanting to leave early for whatever the reason might be. But in your mind, what are some reasons to leave early? Are there good reasons a player is ready for the next step or a different level, or is there reasons maybe they're not? What does that look like to a guy who's been a part of those programs?
Yeah, and again, it's tough to give like a true concrete answer without, again, I know I said it earlier, but like every player is so different. I feel like it seems like the trend now is kind of chasing the shiny new toy and looking elsewhere, and things might be better if you leave and go elsewhere. And um, I'd try kind of caution kids a little bit with that, because again, just because you're going 100 miles away from your home, like it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a better experience for you. I do think there is something to be said, like when kids look at like, I guess when I speak to kids or families in regards to this, it's kind of like, what's your end goal? Like if you want to get a Division I scholarship, like you kind of look from the time you're 15. If you're going to enter college as a 20-year-old, you kind of have a 5-year window, or kind of right in that time frame as to when you might get a college scholarship. And I do think one thing that is hard for like high school kids going against like kids that played a lot of midget hockey is like, if a kid plays 3 years of high school hockey, like they're probably playing about 75 games within those 3 years. Where if you look at a midget schedule, sometimes they're playing 75 games in one season. And then you times that again, if you're a midget kid, you play 75 games, 75, 75. It's a lot more games that you have under your belt and a lot more practices under your belt as you're kind of stepping into those junior teams. And those are the kids you're competing for spots against. I will say, in saying that, like I do feel like the midget schedule can get a little game heavy at times. Like when I was coaching in Sioux Falls, like sometimes when you're playing 2 games on Friday, 2 games on Saturday, I felt like it was a little bit unnecessary. But if you can kind of get in that 60 to 65 game range, like I think that it's probably a lot more appropriate. And I know that's where like a lot of people look at the Team North Dakota stuff, because you do get roughly 20-ish, 15, 20 games probably in the fall, and then you go play your high school season. And again, when you play in the spring, you get close to that. But I do feel like it's a little bit different. Like when you're with a team in the fall, you play some games, but then you go back to your high school team, play some games with different kids. And then when you come back in the spring, it almost feels like you're starting from scratch again, as opposed to kind of being with that team from the start. So, again, I know that's not like a very definitive answer on why kids should entertain that, but if you're a kid who's done what they need to do, like at the high school level, then it might be a chance to look elsewhere, whether that's junior hockey or a midget program somewhere. But I think with everything is you do have to look at what midget team you're going to, look at what type of opportunity you're going to have, and then kind of weigh the pros and cons of the cost of playing there. Because again, I know it's quite a lot more expensive than just playing high school sports. So that's something to factor into.
Just a solid answer that comes with a solid Red River education. What can I say?
Wouldn't expect anything less, right?
Not at all.
How
Kelly,
upsetting.
rebuttal?
How upsetting. Well, I was going to ask you guys, and I'm actually ashamed that I haven't asked this question before from you, Kyle, but now that I have both of you, just because we're walking through Grand Forks hockey history, but I feel like I'm not the only person who wouldn't know the answer to this. Talk a little bit more about what the Hockey Academy was. I like so many big hockey names, local and non-local. I will hear about, they were with THA and stuff, but I think like not everybody knows what the THA was in town, and myself included. So would you guys ever brief me on exactly what it was and why it doesn't exist anymore?
Yeah, so I think it like when Brad and Eric started it, like I think they just kind of wanted a spot for local kids to be able to come together to really like kind of work out at the time. Like it was more of I felt like it was more off ice than on ice. It was very heavy on using the summer for these high school kids to really work on starting to build their body, put on some mass, get stronger. Kind of started with high school / junior age, college kids a little bit, like kind of worked within the UND walls a little bit and some of those players a little bit, but kind of morphed into a little bit more preseason camps. And then at one point, like we had the Blues and Supras were coming through our doors. So I think they would get 2 ice touches or 2 practices per week. And then they'd come to the Hockey Academy and we'd just work on stick handling and skating on the treadmill and just kind of like an added hockey practice for the week. So, but yeah, it felt like in those early years, like it was very focused on kind of that strength aspect of it. Got a little more on ice, heavier focused kind of towards the later years. Why it ceases to exist, I guess I'm not totally sure, but I know like the hard part for it was like the times you're at work is kind of outside like the standard working hours. So like for me, like kind of with thinking family on the horizon, like your days and nights would kind of start about 4 p.m. and then you'd put a lot of your work from 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock p.m. And that just started to get a little bit harder as you get older and start thinking family stuff. So, Coach, I don't know if you want to speak on anything.
I have just a shit ton of pictures of Archie sleeping on the floor of the Hockey Academy, Charlie in his Charlie in his little carrier just in the penalty box at tournaments and stuff like that. So it's true, but it was also a lot of fun. Like it was just a super, super fun place to work, that we had tournaments. I think I was actually planning to do some doing like a THA reunion show just to go over the
Hmm.
stories, like all the characters that came through there. Um, Playing Rotten Tomatoes like twice a day.
Hmm.
We'd have a movie guessing game, which is just so much fun. Having Wyatt Rosendahl around there. When Archie was little, really little, he'd come in and then he was 2 or whatever, and he'd be sick of being there. So Eli would call his mom, and Brenda would come get him and take him back, make him
Hmm.
cookies. So it was just the training was a big deal. We did a lot of tournaments. We ran a lot of kids through there. A lot of kids doing individual lessons, which was fun. Um, my favorite story that I'll save for the reunion show is, do you remember that Australian girl that came the one summer?
Uh,
Angie Thomas?
now that you say that, that rings a bell. Yep.
Yeah, she was doing individual, like she was on the Australian national team and like could barely stand up on, it was crazy. And so she'd have me take video of her shooting pucks. And
Yeah.
meanwhile, Tinder's going mental on her phone, like message after message after. I'd have to swipe these messages away to keep taking video to send to her dad. So it was just yeah, did all kinds of stuff, but it was great. And the big one that I thought maybe we could segue into in a minute is the selects, which was a lot of fun for a couple seasons too. It started
Yeah.
really the precursor to Team ND.
Yeah. Yeah. And you talk sleeping at the rink. Like I think again, talking late nights there. Like there was one night, it was me, Eli, so Eli Rosendahl and then Matt Harder. I don't know what we were there for. I think it was some player evaluation. It might have been tryouts, but um, kind of going back and forth, I think debating between players. And we had to be there early the next day. So we ended up just sleeping at the rink that night, like back in just one of the coaches' rooms, just grabbed some yoga mats and slept there. And but yeah, the THA Selects was fantastic. Like I think it was a little bit more of a, and Coach or Kelly or Corey, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but it felt like THA Selects was a little bit more of a time commitment for the players that we had on our team. Like we'd practice twice a week, and we had kids from Crookston, Fargo, Devil's Lake, and like prior to forming the team, like we basically told the families like, hey, like you're expected to be here for these practices. We know a lot of kids like in the fall, you're skipping hockey to go to homecoming. Like we expect you guys to be at every game, be at every practice. Like there were, I think, 2 families from Bismarck that we let kind of just stay in Bismarck. Like that was a little bit outside the radius of expectations to be at practice, but people were all in. Like we'd load up a bus and head up to Canada. You know, we'd have coaches, players, families on the bus, and just overall thought it was such a good experience. And you know, we'd do practices, and then post practice, we'd have Matt Harder kind of run them through like off ice workouts. And you know, he's the strength coach with the Minnesota Wild now, so it just felt like it was such a well run program. And I think the people that were involved just had a really good experience.
Who I know you said Canada, but what teams did you guys play? I remember hearing about ND Selects. It's a little before my boys' time, but I kind of agree with Kyle. That would be the precursor to Team ND. But yeah, what teams did you guys play for opponents?
Yeah, we'd go up, we'd play Winnipeg Wild, Winnipeg Bruins, who else? Estevan,
Asher, yeah, we
Regina.
played a varied schedule, double A and but triple A, like in yeah, the Pat Canadians, Moose Jaw, they were the junior warriors at the time.
Mhm.
Notre Dame Hounds. I thought it was a really good schedule at the time.
Yeah.
All
And it was
Canadian, or did you guys play any Minnesota teams?
Can't remember. Did we ever play? Because we were kind of like a hybrid team. So like we'd have like we kind of ran it as a prep team, right, Coach? Because
yeah, we
like
did. Yeah, it was more. Yeah, hybrid prep kind of ran it like a junior team
yeah,
in terms of the time commitment. But I think we had our own. Did we not have teams in like um, that one kind of strange Minnesota guy came? We played Pembina
mhm,
Valley a bunch. Like
yeah,
good loop through the Manitoba AAA league. They were very accommodating to us, and a lot of
yep,
those guys are still there.
yeah,
Um,
yep,
so
think we
pretty.
need OHA in the mix
Yeah,
too
yeah,
in this
yeah. They
area.
would come and play us. So we had my recollection, it was a pretty good schedule for fairly short notice.
Mhm. Yeah, pretty heavy Canadian though,
Yeah.
for
And
sure.
it was, yeah, we had actually a lot of attention for the kids for like Western League teams before that it was sort of still taboo at the time.
Hmm. Yeah, so that was kind of, kids start talking to WHL teams. It's like, like, do I entertain this? Do I not? So
Yeah.
yeah, kind of like you
Yeah.
said, a little bit taboo for some of those kids.
Yeah. Yeah. I still have one of the moms made us a little photo book. I still have that. Mrs. Leininger made that. And we got in
Okay.
trouble. We ran a bootleg 50-50 deal at one of our games and got in trouble for that. So it was
Yeah, there were a lot of, I felt like as professionally as we thought it was ran, like there were a lot of hiccups and speed bumps along the way too. And
well,
just
no one
all
told
fun.
us
Uh-huh.
what we could or couldn't do. We just kind of did it and then figured it out as we went. And so,
Oh, we weren't supposed to do that? Shoot.
yeah,
Dang it.
Yeah.
Next
yeah,
Uh-oh.
time. I like that. Oh, well, it's cool. I like that because it's just kind of like the history of Grand Forks and North Dakota hockey, like, and it's even amazing. Like, I know with all of our kids playing Team ND and stuff, like when you're saying like all those kids from all those areas, and you were able to even set practice schedules that were the expectation was that you were going to come. I mean, like when you say that now, it's like, oh, that would never happen, like it. So just the change and um, culture, but also probably a little bit because, like, um, things become more accessible, they have more options and stuff. But interesting when people didn't have as many options that, like you said, people were all in, at which you may not be able to get that same thing now because of all the camps that are offered and all of the extra stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But that's really cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I think a reunion show, because every time Kyle will say, oh yeah, they were with me at Hockey Academy, THA. I'm like, holy shit, was everyone involved in
Yeah.
THA? Like,
Well, it was
this
like,
seemed like a fun place to be.
yeah,
So
we'd spend so much time because like there were just so many like different avenues and ties to like people working at the rink. Like again, I was working with the women's hockey team. Max Markowitz was. Then you had guys like Jeremy O'Keefe, Shane Omdahl. They were with the women's team. Some of the strength guys, I know I mentioned Matt Harder, who's with the Wild. You had Jake Wolf, he's with the
yeah,
Winnipeg Jets. Kyle McCuskey, like he was with the Fargo Force for a little bit. But like all those strength guys, they were also students with Mark Pullman, who's like the head strength and conditioning coach with the UND hockey team.
yeah,
So they'd spend tons of time at the rink. You'd have the hockey academy side, but then some guys were doing stuff with the women's hockey team. Some guys were doing stuff with the men's hockey team. So it was just kind of like a revolving door of people being at the rink, using the men's and women's staff as pretty good resources, like when you had questions or could just bounce some ideas off. So it was kind of like you could learn from those guys at the college program and then come apply it with the hockey academy. So just it was
yeah.
such a cool setup.
it really was. Yeah. Just a little bit of trivia to put you on the spot. Tell me how Wolfie said the hazelnut spread you can put on toast, the alternative to peanut butter. How did he say that? You
You're
remember?
asking, your brain is on a different level than mine,
It
as it is
really
with
is.
most people. So
Nuttala.
oh
You
yeah,
remember? They used to
yeah.
have him do lectures for kids about proper nutrition and how to get ready for games and how to recover after games. And he'd always say Nuttala instead of Nutella. And I this became my
That's good
favorite.
news for if he's suggesting that Nutella is something good, or Nutella, depending on if you live in America or not. That's great news for Jet because
Yeah,
he eats
there you
that
go. Yeah,
by the spoonful. So
he
he's
has
right on target
yeah,
nutrition wise.
he has an advocate right there. So
Nutella.
yeah. So and
It's
uh
wonderful.
one of Deuce's former teammates also liked to train there in the summer and would just show up unannounced in the morning and start calling for someone to let him in. So there's a lot of, again, this is probably a 2 episode arc of stories from.
Yeah.
The hockey
You
academy.
talking about Eric Melland?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was I don't think he quite understood like how the world worked. Like he'd call me at 1 o'clock on a Tuesday and he's like, "Hey, like what are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, I'm at work. Like what are you doing?" He's like, "Well, I'm at home. Like, you want to come over and hang out?" And he just I don't think quite grasped the idea that people sit at work and do stuff during the day, but he's doing well now. He's a dentist out in
Yeah.
Minot. So he's doing great.
That's
Yeah.
I love to hear when people that are that discombobulated become like really successful professionals where you're like, no shit, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, good for
Yeah.
them. I
When we
love
meet, so
it.
like he's no slouch. Like he's got
Yeah, but I bet he's
he's
like the best dentist ever because
yeah,
like if he's one of those, if he's my kind of people where,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, he
what are you
graduated
doing?
from Princeton with a degree. He was an aeronautical engineering degree, but was bouncing around Europe playing hockey, like just making pennies. And he's like, yeah, all my classmates work for Google or NASA, whatever. But I think he was just putting off on getting like a real job as long as he could. So
I love that. That's wonderful.
When he'd want to come skate at the hockey academy, before he had my number, he'd just go to the Olympic doors and bang on them till I heard. And it's not, that building's not conducive to sound. And so you just kind of faintly hear Melons. I'm like,
Yeah,
why don't you take my number? He's like, I'll probably forget it. I'm like, all right.
all right.
he's one of a
Hey,
kind.
you do you. Yeah, I love that.
Lots of fun.
So Kelly brought it up earlier, but back my boys were lucky enough to be trained at THA a little bit. And when it kind of started there, it was more small space, right? It was you had the hockey treadmill, you had a swatch of land for the synthetic ice. Was that kind of small area space in its inception kind of created due to the limitations of maybe not having ice time, or was it tactical?
I guess I don't know the origin of that. But like I remember Cam and Parker coming
Mhm.
through our doors, and that's kind of when I think like those years we had kind of made the decision to kind of part ways with the skating treadmill.
Mhm.
And we had kind of used that space to kind of make like our own mini weight room, so to speak. Just again, like when you talk how important like building your body was. It was getting harder and harder to get in the weight room that the UND programs would use. They would just kind of block off times from 8 o'clock in the morning till noon, and then women would be in there from 1 to 4, and like we were trying to kind of set a schedule for kids to come train. So it got harder to kind of work around their schedule. So that's kind of why we made the decision to get rid of the skating treadmill. Um, but I think it was just storage space in there for the sous shop. But I think they overtook some of that storage, and um, said I think it was just kind of a way for kids to get in and do some extra work because I don't know like what again this I was just a young college kid at the time, so I don't know like if they took the ice out on both sheets all summer or what the ice schedule was. Um, so yeah, I think it was just kind of another way to go hockey specific without being on the actual ice.
Well, I know my boys, even back then, when you're in the small space, they were always excited to go and excited when they were done. I'd come
Mhm.
in, did you have fun? Yeah. When the treadmill's there, they had fun. Little synthetic area, they'd say, yeah, we had fun. Okay, Dad, now sharpen my skates.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That
it's
was the
tough
only
on them.
drawback. They
Yeah.
dull them up pretty quick.
Yeah.
Oh, good
What a
stuff.
good spot. Um, oh, I had a follow up there too.
Well, there went that Kyle brain we had for
No,
about
yeah.
5 minutes.
Uh,
It's good when it's good.
Kelly works for youth hockey, and we talk about tournaments all the time. They have a tournament coordinator now, and I try and gloss over the fact about all the teams we ran through there. Like we run them all through the month of May.
Mhm.
And just one gal doing it now, which is amazing to me. But like, just touch on a little bit how much time those tournaments took, and what like I'm not sure why Ava can do it by
Yeah,
herself, and it took three of us to run them.
yeah. Tournaments were. I felt like I'd start getting anxiety in the spring, like as it get closer and closer. Like teams were itching for schedules to come out, and We guarantee one game for sure on the main. But Kelly, I'm sure you hear it a lot kind of in your world now, but you send the schedule out and then people are like, well, we can't play at 8
Yes.
a.m.
Yeah.
And so prior to games even starting, it's already a headache and things are
Yeah,
always
it's tricky.
difficult. And, um, I don't miss doing tournaments in the slightest. I will never be a parent who ever complains once a tournament schedule comes out because I understand how difficult it is to give teams enough rest between games. If you're
Yeah.
playing the late game, try avoid having them start early. But sometimes, like, there's going to be a team or two that it's just kind of what it is. Like, as much as you can try shuffle it, it's not possible to appease to everyone. But like that, so that was one side, and that's prior to even the tournament starting. And then you get teams in the door, and once you turn the score clock on and you get referees on the ice, like, parents kind of go, or can go, a little bit crazy at times. Like, there's a very high percentage that are great, fantastic, no issues. But those were always tough weekends. And it kind of got to the point, like, the more visible we were, coach, like between me, you, and Eli, like, it felt like the more issues would pop up because, like, when you were a visible face, like, people would come to you and then they'd start offloading anything they want. So it kind of got to the point, like, where we had some pretty good part-time help, where I just kind of said, like, hey, you guys are in charge. If something egregious happens, just give us a call, and you guys be the point men here. And yeah, glad to be done with them. But
Yeah. I think Wyatt Rosendahl deserves a shout out there for running score clocks and being that guy.
yeah,
He took a lot of heat for us for a lot of years. So
yeah, he'd take the 8 a.m. shift till 8 p.m. He'd do every single game. And that was a whole nother thing too. Like, you hope the box workers show up, and a lot of times they're high school kids or younger, and then you hope they're not on their phones, like, at an important part of the game when you need the score clock to start or stop. But yeah, Wyatt was great. He might have logged the most hours at the hockey academy from start to finish
yeah,
because he put in a lot of time.
easily.
I like to ask a series of actual, real, and serious questions on these things. So since you did coach with Jason Ulmer, right? Yeah, and you
Uh,
have met me in real life. So can
yep.
you confirm that I'm officially a half inch taller than Jason Ulmer?
Is this being recorded?
Yeah, it,
Oh
it,
yeah.
uh, it might be used as evidence in a later suggestion.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll give a politically correct answer. I don't know if I've ever seen you two in the same room. How about that?
Might be the
And it
same
means you
person.
stand next to
Yeah.
each other. Yeah.
So we've got an
We can't
ongoing joke
confirm.
Or
on
maybe, yeah,
the
they're always in the same
on the facial recognition on my phone. If you go to the photo library under the Jason Ulmer one, it actually has me on the face cover of it as him. So I don't think we look anything alike, but we've been mistaken before.
room. I can
But
But
I
believe
your
always
that.
tell people I'm a half
iPhone
inch taller.
feels differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his brother Jeff was actually in town, and I got to have dinner with him and his wife. And the Ulmer Irian connection on catchphrase demolished the females, and it was
Okay.
wonderful. So Jeff is a solid addition in my book into
Felt
the Ulmer
so
clan.
good. Oh.
Okay, next serious question. Being that you were down in Sioux Falls and they serve booze in that rink, how many dads did you see get ejected from that rink?
But I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was any.
None?
To be honest, yeah, we at least none that I saw.
Okay. Wow. Serving booze, no dads. I've been in that rink and seen dads get ejected. So thought you would have had more. Fair.
None. No, sorry,
All right.
got nothing for you.
If you would have taken over the Red River head coaching job, and I'm not going to name names, but could you have survived 7 consecutive seasons with certain hockey dads in your liver?
I think so. I think
Okay.
so because can't remember who told me, but we like when I was coaching a Pee Wee team. This was back. I was probably 20, 21 years old, kind of right in that time frame of drinking and being our own parents, but someone older than us just kind of said like, hey, try your best to avoid drinking with the parents. Like if you want to have a few drinks, like do that. But he just kind of said, I don't know if they had bad experiences with it or what, but I mean, don't get me wrong. Like there were times we'd sit in a hotel and have some late nights, um, but yeah, knowing some of those Red River dads can have a drink or two with them, but I can't keep up with them, so I'd be out pretty early.
Well,
That's
I'll tell you this, after having my middle boy, Parker, get coached by a Moreland, a Cozier, and a Fabian, I'll tell you, I don't want to hang out with the head coaches either.
I
I
actually
understand.
used Deuce's rule, the no drinking with the parents to avoid Corey for like 6 months this year. It was
How
tremendous,
about that? Yeah, it's easy to implement if
Yeah.
you want to avoid the parents.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Corey. I'm
Oh,
coaching. Yeah.
I'm still here,
Pretty
Kyle.
strict
I'm not going to do
policy.
that. So, okay, last totally serious question. In all your years of playing hockey, what is the best chirp you've ever heard or said?
Oh,
And
um,
this doesn't have to be PG unless you want it to
no,
be.
that's fine. One that I always thought was funny that I think sometimes I still hear from my buddies. So I got in one hockey fight in my career, and it happened to be with Eric Melland, the guy we talked about earlier. We were great buddies, but he was always a forward. I was a defenseman. We'd have a lot of competitive things just on the ice naturally growing up through Pee Wee's Bantams practices. Like it would get a little rough at times, but again, you're Bantam and high school age kids. Like you're never going to actually fight. But um, when I was playing in Fargo, he was playing for the Lincoln Stars, and I was having a bad game. Like I think I was -3 pretty early, and he like after a whistle tried to stop and kind of like fell on the ice, and I said something to him, and he's kind of like looked at me. He's like, "You want to go, buddy? Like, you want to go right now?" I was like, "All right, like yeah, let's do it." So off the face off, got in a fight, and kind of both exchange punches. Like we both came out of there black and blue. Like I think he kind of like slightly broke my nose a little bit, but after the fight, a few weeks later, like I don't know if they still have it, but there were different websites that would kind of rank the hockey fights,
Mhm.
and one of the reviews was like, "This is like the most amateur fight of all time. Like, I hope Mellon's okay after getting hit by LaDouceur's pillows." And I haven't really heard that one. I haven't lived that one down. So I was not a heavyweight by any means. I think I was 160 pounds, luckily, at the time playing junior hockey. So,
Uh,
Thrown pillows.
if I might jump in really quickly, I recall playing volleyball with your now wife Ellie, and her saying there's some pretty good stuff in basketball. Has
mhm.
she relayed any of those to you? Because I'm almost positive she told us some, but I'm blanking.
Yeah, not that like no specific examples, but I know like I think women's sports in general can be pretty ruthless, like when it comes to chirps.
Mm.
Like I don't think there's anything that's held back when it gets to that. So she doesn't have any specific examples, but I know I know things would get pretty nasty and pretty personal, I think was kind of
Yeah.
the lines. Like I think in at least in guys for the most part, like there's some fun loving stuff, but I don't know how truly personal it gets, but I think at times in the female side of things, they could maybe cross some lines.
We had Kevo on the show and Fabes a couple times, and they've relayed a few pretty
Okay.
biting comments to us. So,
Hmm.
which we're all
There,
for.
there is in fact a YouTube that still exists from November of 2008 of that fight.
Okay. How's it
So
look?
Hey, I'm
we'll
sure when you were in it, it was the most adrenaline charged, like felt like it was like a fraction of a second. And
Yeah.
because you're a little Kita, I've not been in a physical fight, but I can only imagine the amount of adrenaline that is coursing through your body as you're
you're
punching your
underselling this.
friend.
I remember,
There's some solid throws here. You
yeah,
undersold it.
I just remember like the first, he caught me like two times right away, just like square in the nose.
Oh,
And it was just like, it was so loud. I didn't realize like how loud it would be getting punched, but it was just, it felt like someone like slapped a couple 2x4s together. Like he just hit me and I was like, oof. Might have been my nose breaking. Who knows?
Yeah, might have been crunch. Ugh.
I had no idea that existed till now. I'm pretty excited to go back and watch
Kyle
it.
will be checking it out.
I have watched it. It is good.
Um, so you mentioned you're the termite coordinator, and again, it's starting to be a distant bell for the three of us trying to remember that. How the practices go?
Good. Like we had a pretty good group of dads that helped out. I think it was anywhere probably right around like 24, 25 total dads, split between kind of two ice sessions.
Yeah,
So I don't know, it was anywhere between 10 and 15 guys that would be on the ice helping out. But like you kind of, again, when I talk about like how beginner they are, you kind of have some like practice plans and ideas in your head of like things you want to do. But then you get out there for like the first practice and it's like, okay, like some of these basic drills that I even thought in my head we could be doing, like we got to go even more beginner than that. Just because like a lot of kids early on, like the first couple weeks, like they're working on standing up and it's a lot of falling over. So went pretty heavy with skating in year one, like just trying to kind of lay that foundation and played I think every single practice or 95% of practices we play freeze tag.
yeah,
um, just again, it's competitive. It kind of forces kids to move a little faster than they want to. You kind of get some reactionary things to avoid getting tagged or trying to tag someone. And um, again, they just have so much fun playing that. So like at that age, just trying to disguise fun, trying to make things a game, but still making it like a solid drill with hockey specific things that they might not even realize they're working on. Um, but just having the help and the numbers of coaches we did like that makes the practices. So
yeah.
I was so lucky to have the people we have. So if anyone watches, like we'll lock you in for coaching next year too, because you can't really run practices without them.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
phone lines are open. Kelly's ready to answer calls.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you still have a fair
100%.
amount of kids who show up who can't skate at all?
Early on,
Yeah.
yep. So again, like trying to separate into like groups just kind of
Mhm.
based on ability. Like you have some kids that played termite ones already, so they have a year of hockey under their
Mhm.
belt. And then you have kids that just either have a backyard rink or go to the outdoor rinks and can skate pretty good. So trying to kind of group those kids together where some of the drills you can kind of tweak a little bit. But yeah, there was probably, I don't know, 10 to 15 kids at the first couple weeks. Like it's, you fall over, you got to work on
Mhm.
standing up. So it's kind of a really good reset. Like if you're, I don't know, bored one morning, come watch Termite One hockey because it's, and like actually watch it and just like look at the kids' faces because
Oh, so yeah,
it's fun and they just enjoy it so much.
It's
I
the
asked that
best.
question because my wife and I were totally clueless. We're first generation hockey with our kids, and we thought like hockey, like they would teach the kids how to skate because we weren't from Grand Forks. We've never grew around the culture. So
Mhm.
we put our stuff on our child for the first time before hockey practice and then proceeded to be horrified that ours was one that could not skate at all.
Mhm. Yeah, no, it had like we had a kid
Yeah.
on day one, like he had his elbow pads were on his knees, like
Mhm.
Oh,
using his elbow
funny.
pads as knee pads, and
Yeah.
um,
We
yeah, like
had cut Cam's wood stick far too small because we did not understand how high to cut a hockey stick. So I've got some great pictures of him with what isn't much bigger than a mini stick, even at his size back then, leaned over holding it. It was we had a lot to learn.
yeah. Well, you see kids with two short sticks. You see some that are a
yeah.
foot over their head. Like it's such a wide range. And again, parents just don't know. So
Yeah.
The best part is like, so like even my nephew was in termite, so I would attend some of the Saturday morning games, and especially at the beginning of the season, you do see that there are little ones that standing up is just the goal of even the game, and then there's ones that are buzzing around because they've already learned how to skate. But what's fun is the icebreaker tournament, everybody is skating, you know, like everybody, you know, you still have ability levels, but they're all participating. So that's really exciting and fun to watch, to see, like, if you think that your kid, because they have never skated before, that they can't do this, it's like they'll all be skating by February. Like they just will. They'll figure it out. So I think that's really the fun part to watch. And I also love about termite hockey is watching kids take the puck from their own teammates, because it's everybody for themselves in termites. You know what I mean? Like, you might be on my team, but if I can take that puck from you and I can score, that's irrelevant to me. Like, it's very every man for themselves, and I think it is really wonderful. Like, it's so fun to watch.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of parents that have yet to enter the horrors of making their own outdoor hockey rink. Like, they still have joy and hope in their lives until they make their first outdoor hockey rink.
Right.
You're
That'll zap the
discouraging me,
joy
Corey.
right out of you. I know, like, we were, like, I could throw a rock and hit Riverside Park. And that is what Matt and my children every year, can't you just build a rink in the backyard? No, you have a rink. Walk over there. I don't know if we could survive the emotional trauma. Like, they are time, energy, care, and I don't have it in the tank. But God bless Kyle, because he does.
He still has his going.
Don't you share a rink with Eric Fabian?
We did when I moved in. So Ryan, if you never saw that behemoth, we actually built a rink in between our houses, but because it's the only flat space on our houses. But then there's a tree in it, so we actually built the tree inside of the rink.
That's right.
Yeah, and so it only made it one season. Then that jerk Fabian decided, oh, I want a bigger house, so I'm gonna build
and put an addition on selfishly. Yeah.
How rude.
No.
I know.
Very rude.
I think this winter I'm going to attempt a outdoor rink. I got my younger boy is a little young to do organized hockey, but I feel like he's old enough to get out on the backyard rink. But it's crazy. Like, growing up, Kelly, like you said, it was, you go to your local park and skate, where everyone now has a backyard rink. It's crazy.
That's true. Yeah, it's you don't. I mean, it is funny, because I see when my boys will head down to Riverside, it will surprise me how many kids are down there. But also, even if you just drive around Riverside, there's several backyard rinks, you know, and I'm like, there's a rink right there. But it's nice too, because especially, like, for people with really little ones, like, if you're not going to get over to the park rink every night, having it right in your backyard makes it possible to even get them, you know, 30 minutes of skating before they got to come in for bed. So, you know, they're good too. They really do have good things. But you'll have to go over. Kyle will have to give you the ODR walkthrough, because I feel like he's really locked in a winning strategy on this, and usually involves Charlie crawling under like Polly.
I made a TikTok. I got lights now.
But
I got I think one of your termite dad helpers, Blaine Thompson.
Okay.
Him sort of a summer tutorial on how he's going to get his going. So you'll have Holt all ready to go there. But yeah, it's just fun. The kids can go back there and wreck the fence. And Charlie is, quote unquote, retired from hockey, but does get to skate every night. And about mid-February, wanted to show me his transition forward to backward, and where he declared himself better than about 38% of the NHL. I'm like, nailed it.
And that's a fair number.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. 38%. Yeah.
No shortage of confidence.
He didn't go overboard.
Yeah.
He didn't get crazy with it.
Yeah. Just a reasonable, believable number.
Yeah. I like Charlie's a statistics guy. I like that. Yeah.
You will never regret, and I can barely skate. I mean, barely, but you'll never regret a moment of being on your own ice sheet in the backyard with your kids. But you'll regret every moment that they're off that down.
Why do I do this?
So Kyle, I think this might work, but can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, I think I'm regretting making you co-host.
It literally says you are viewing Cheeks'
Oh,
screen.
look at that.
That is the size stick that I cut for
Oh
my
my
son in his first practice.
That's a good look.
God.
You know what? That's not too
But
bad.
he
I thought
could
it was
he
gonna be worse.
I was gonna say, and you can kind of use it as like a prop to hold you up, like it's not the worst idea, like it's it had purpose. I'm sure he used it almost like a rudder.
Did not have a clue.
You
Now
look
look at you,
amazing, buddy.
co-hosting a hockey podcast with a baseball background.
There
Yeah,
you go.
no
Hey,
kidding. Look
What
how
do you
far
do?
you've come.
I like it.
Tremendous. Anything else to cover, guys? I don't want to keep everybody.
You got time?
Uh, on the a brief anecdote on my very young playing days, I remember stealing pucks from your friends. We were playing. I don't even know where we were playing. My best friend was a defenseman. I was playing forward, and he shot the puck. And again, getting it in from the blue line was a accomplishment at 5. I didn't think it was going to go in the net, so I gave it an extra push. And I still remember to this day the fight we had about he was going to score the goal, and I took it away from him. And
Mhm.
so it's a real deal. But
It is. I
it stuck
remember.
with it's a 45-year-old story.
Yeah, no, it's funny you say that because I remember it was probably first year or second year. Like I played for Ben Franklin. This was back in the park board days, and there was one kid on our team who I don't want to say he was like a bully, but he'd always go like steal a puck from you. And I just remember like kind of being confused as a kid because it's like, well, he's on my team. Like, what's going on? And
Yeah.
I think my dad just told me, he's like, well, if you don't want him to steal it, you just have to skate faster and skate away from him. And I felt like that just like stuck with me as a kid. And it's like, well, if you have it, you just have to skate faster, else he's going to
Yeah.
take it from you. And
Mhm.
I still remember that.
Really good lesson, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
Speak and good segue to Jeffy and Bon Bon's backyard, where a lot of these kids learned how to play summer hockey and
Yeah.
sing the magical anthem. That's
Oh,
Archie
yes.
and Jackson went to daycare there. Had a lot of what I would call spirited games in Bon Bon's. Well, spirited one-on-ones that turned into
Yes.
a battle.
Yeah. No, she's got quite the list of athletes that have come through the doors there. And we remember as kids, like, I don't think she allows it anymore, but we got to cross the street and go across to Ben Franklin and we'd play hot box over there.
Yeah,
And like, we just, between a few name drops here, but like we had Jake and Danny Marto, like Stephen and Michael Kraft, Adam and Furry Compton. I don't know if you guys know them, but a lot of pretty good athletic families that kind of came through my mom's doors and kids that went on to have some high school success and kind of beyond high school too.
I'm so sorry you had to deal with Danny Mardo. I know he's listening
oh,
right now.
poor
Danny, I
Danny.
mean everything I say.
10
Yeah,
toes
you
down.
would
I
have been
mean
one of
it.
the first. That would have been very, very probably started my mom doing home daycare.
Hey, if I've got any advice for you, um, we had smaller kids as the boys were going through hockey, and so both of us would rarely get to the termite things. So I would usually film it for Jess so she could just watch it
Mhm.
later in like little brief 2-minute clips. So I have an obscene amount of termite hockey clips of 2 minutes things. And as your boys get older and your kids get older, going back and watching those clips of them and their friends playing termite hockey is still a blast.
Oh, I bet.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
I
I
got to
have
get
a I have a lot from the hockey academy too of those little guys ripping around and remember
that.
the the Horvath kids coming
Oh,
to
yeah.
and now they all the Heine's playing professionally in
I
Norway.
know. I
Remember him
know.
sitting at center ice just crying his eye. The first time they put him on the ice, he skated out to center ice, sat down and just cried.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I had him and Vetla and
yeah.
yeah, a lot of European flavor. Kevin Motor from Austria, like he would spend his summers here and
Uh I think I actually told Corey this story, but do you remember I'm sorry to tell this story, but taking Kevin to Brewskis and Thompson
mm-hmm.
around Memorial Day, right after tournaments were over. And we got
Yep.
talking about, oh, it's neat about World War II vets. And Kevin's like, my grandpa was in World War II. And he goes, not on your side. I was like,
But and he's like
nicest
felt
guy.
genuinely like just
Just,
terrible that his grandpa fought on the German side of things. Like I think the booze was maybe talking a little bit, but
It was,
Yeah, it got brought up, and I think he was just like beside
That
himself.
is so
yeah,
funny.
it was,
Not on your side.
yeah,
Uh, don't
yeah,
tell people that. All right. You keep that to yourself.
yeah.
Uh, that's great.
Not even going to call on Corey on that one. Well, good deal. Any parting shots, anybody?
You know,
I think we've
I've
covered it
had
all.
to, we're slowly evening out on the Red River versus Central people. We're
Yeah.
catching up. This is a
Feels right.
hatch on
Feels
Team
right.
Red.
What's the breakdown? Are we close to 50-50?
I feel like Kelly's keeping this 60-40 on purpose, but we're a strong 40%.
Yeah,
All right, listen.
I think that's
I
fair.
have to fight for the North End, Corey. I have to
Yeah.
fight. All right. It's a tough gig. It's
I
a
understand.
weird hill to die on, but here we are.
Hey, for one glean or for what is it? One gleaning month, I lived in the Central District, and then they changed the plans again.
Yeah.
Such a
Kyle was here
fun,
for a little
such a
bit.
fun rivalry too between
Yeah, I
between the
agree.
two.
I
Like
love it so much.
So I do have a goal this season because when you go through these years and years of sports, here's my parting shot, right? You go through years and years of sports, you hang out with all the same parents, and then they get to high school and they kind of do this arbitrary split just based on where you live or where the kids go. And so I've talked to you, Danny, and a few other dads, and I've threatened them that during this season we are going to hang out together before games. The kids can have their little rivalry, but they're going to have to drink beer with me.
That's right.
and do you
100%.
guys get together? Because I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like I feel like there's kind of a true split and divide. Like once you get
Yeah,
to the high school, like you kind of parents,
it
Red
has
River
been so
parents, take
far.
the Red
I'm
River, and
I'm an
Central parents.
outsider, so I'm going to break this down for one season. It's going to happen.
Corey
No
just
matter,
wants
yeah,
to break down the walls. He wants
yeah.
to be David Hasselhoff at the Berlin Wall.
I was going to say, I'll be the first German to ever break down a wall.
He wants to be the David Hasselhoff of Grand Forks hockey, and I respect that.
Yeah. That's fair. I think you can pull it off, Corey.
I can't touch
I
that
do
one.
too.
I got
I do
nothing.
too. I like it. I approve.
Good. Going to maybe. How do you share the screen, Corey? Oh, here we
Huh?
go. Share
Oh,
screen.
I thought you said I was sharing my screen.
Did that come up?
It sometimes takes a minute to load. There you go.
Archie
Yep.
on the synthetic ice.
Oh my
Look at that.
gosh.
See, maybe that stick was a shade long though, Kyle.
Yeah, I still have that stick. It's in the backyard because I won't throw. I'm a bit of a hoarder. I won't throw anything away. So, I was looking for one. There is a. So when Eric was there too, there's a video of Archie and Eric skating, or Archie and Jackson skating around.
Hmm.
And the ends in a fight.
Oh,
Yeah, they knocked
like
each
a
other
good
down
hockey
and
game
then
does.
started a little slap fight. So
Just
I
throwing pillows.
appreciate that.
there you go.
And they're
Freaking
just
cute.
they're grown men now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kelly, would you like to show a photo of Jet or Mace or perhaps Matt and his spectacular calves? You're
I
welcome,
don't
Matt.
even have any available. Like I did not come prepared. So, although I did get a memory on my phone the other day of it was Jet, Hudson Bach, and Josh Spurley at the Icebreaker as we were talking about it, and they have really bad haircuts and big gaps in their teeth, and I miss those guys, like because now they're just a little tooty for my taste.
Yeah.
I think the attitude could take it down a notch. Like I wasn't a fan of when we had to spend endless hours in the pool watching them, but I wasn't prepared for when they would become too cool to swim at the pool altogether. So this has been a weird jump.
Yeah,
The
very fair.
the
Shout out to
mom
Tim Litzinger
spending
for always
time?
watching the kids.
Well, Tim
Yeah.
Litzinger.
Okay. Okay.
I feel we know Tim was real good at pool duty,
Yeah,
and we didn't want to take that away from him.
perhaps
Right?
that.
He was very good at it.
Yeah, maybe that should be the number one parting shot as the boys and your kids get into spring hockey. Find a parent that will watch the kids at the pool. It'll change your life. You just need one, but they
Yep,
can be
you
the
just need
designated
one.
person.
Yep, one, and just tell them like you're so good at this. I wouldn't want to take this from you. We'll be in the lobby, but you're doing amazing.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
I know we typically title our episodes with the guest title, but you might be a hard one not to call this one the David Hasselhoff of Grand Forks. Like that's a
Grand
pretty
Forks
tight
hockey.
title.
Don't hassle the Hoff. All right.
Yeah.
That's he's just an absolute treasure. All right. We can all agree on that.
The only issue is if we have North Dakota Ref and Chief David Hoff on, then you know what I mean? Then what will we do? So we have to
Creates a little confusion.
we'll take some creative license there. So okay. Well, Deuce, thanks so much for joining us. A lot of good content. We still haven't had anybody go off the rails in a long time. So
Maybe next time.
yeah, Kelly,
Maybe
call your
next time.
sisters. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me.
THA reunion. We'll get them back and we'll go
Yeah.
off the rules, right off the rails. So.
Yeah, actually, maybe I'll just call Mel and we'll go for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Be our second Minot guest.
Yeah.
Part 2. Yeah, it's the redo.
Perfect.
Yeah,
all right.
I like it.
Well, listen, all my best to Ellie. Say hi to Bon Bon and Jeffy, and thanks so much for joining us.
Awesome. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan. Good night, guys.